Hi, we're Summer 2019 EDFT team. My name is Yair Camacho, and I will be presenting in this video examples of our expert advisor that we've created throughout this semester. So we're here in the strategy tester of MT5. This is our expert advisor, EFDT Gordon EA. We're on the GBP USD currency pair within a 15-minute time frame, and we're in between July 1, 2019 and July 26, 2019. So this is our first example, and as you can see, here's the we're on a daily chart, and first example, we can see that the market is going towards a downwards direction. See, it's approaching lower and lower and lower, and this is where we currently are. So switching to the 15-minute time frame, we can see that we're in day July 24th. So you can see there, July 24th, 2019. So switching back, we're exactly here in July 24th, 2019. And you can see the day's resistance, support, Fibonacci lines, the MACD is here, and the RSI. So first thing you want to notice is the trend. Trend had a very sort of a downwards trend, but if we zoom in, we start seeing that it starts gaining some momentum upwards. So it starts off down, 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 and it starts gaining some momentum upwards. And you notice that the trend has the Fibonacci 23.6 line as support, unable to cross it throughout the day, and finally it reverses and it crosses this Fibonacci line 38.2. It crosses it, then this becomes the this becomes a support, the resistance. It seems that it can't cross the 50 Fibonacci line, so it traces back down to 38.2, and then 38.2 becomes the resistance again, and 23.6 becomes a support. But the momentum starts gaining more traction towards an upwards direction, and it breaks through again the Fibonacci line, giving a good signal, good confirmation signal that it's going to keep going upwards and an upwards direction the minute that it crosses the 38.2 Fibonacci line again. So you can see here that it crosses it, and then you can see in this candlestick that it begins going upwards and breaking through the Fibonacci 50 line. And if you notice also in the Bollinger Bands, we were at a squeeze mostly throughout the day. So right here it starts getting into starts contracting and very tight, and slowly it starts expanding as the trend starts breaking through the Fibonacci line. You see, as soon as it starts breaking through that Fibonacci line, you can see the expansion here, and then traces back, and then as soon as it goes up again, breaking through this Fibonacci line and then this Fibonacci line, you can see the expansion after that squeeze, and you notice that the upper band and the lower band start breaking apart, and you can also see that this candlestick breaks through the Bollinger Band, the upper Bollinger Band. A good signal that to enter a trade. Now we see that the MACD is above the 0 line. It's also above the signal line here, the red. See it right here. And the RSI gives us also a strong signal approaching the 70 line, and currently at 68.67. Very good indication. However, in this example, it doesn't go in here yet because we still, in this specific example, it still hasn't confirmed a signal from the break of the resistance line, so it still doesn't break. But we can see that very good signals already, very strong signals that the trend is going to continue going upwards, and you can see it that it starts going up, getting more momentum upwards, breaking through the 61.8 Fibonacci line, and continues going upwards and upwards. And you start seeing that it starts breaking through the upper band, and the Bollinger Bands start breaking apart even more, expanding even more. And here you can see that the trend approaches very closely to the resistance line, almost about to break. And the minute it breaks, we can definitely see a very strong signal of opening a trade as soon as this candlestick breaks through the resistance line, breaks through the upper band, and MACD and the RSI giving strong signals still. So I'm gonna hit play really quick and just speed it up. So it broke through the resistance line. It's about to break the upper band, and it breaks upper band, giving us a very good signal. And we can see the Bollinger Bands start to break apart, and as soon as that candlestick ends, we can see that it enters a trade, and it opens a trade, and we can see Bollinger Bands are broken apart, all the breakage of the Fibonacci lines and the resistance line, the MACD above the zero baseline, also above the signal line here, and the RSI is above the 70 line. So all very strong signals to enter a trade. And let me just run that really quick. Okay. So moving on to our next example, I'd like to show you an example where, regardless of the Fibonacci lines, we can still get a strong signal, specifically with Bollinger Bands, support, resistance, MACD, and the RSI. So exploring the market at daily chart, we can see that it's at the market's going down. So it goes down, up, keeps going down, and possibly even going down even more after this. We change it to 15-minute time frame. So here it shows us July 1st. Now we skip to July 10th. We can see that the market is definitely going down. Alright. So we can see that there was a squeeze here in the market, and the trend was just touching the support line, barely crossing it, and we can see that it starts reversing back, and then we had some trades here when we saw the Bollinger Band breaking through the upper band, and after that contraction we can see an expansion here. You can see a good signal for the MACD line above the zero base, and the RSI approaching the 70, even crossing the 70 lines. Very good signals for opening a trade here. But let's examine one that's about to happen. So we can see that Bollinger Band. So let me play it. So that candlestick, see the Bollinger Bands are beginning to expand a bit, as the candlestick's breaking through the upper band. You can see the MACD down here starting to rise up after this, and you can see the RSI approaching the 70 line. If I speed it up, alright, perfect. And you can see here that the Bollinger Bands expanded. The candlestick broke through the upper band. The MACD was rising up above the signal line, above the zero baseline. The RSI approaching the 70, breaking through the 70, and then we see a signal to open a trade. And as you can see here, that trade broke through the resistance line and even took the 10 pips of profit. So in this next example, we can still open a trade with Fibonacci lines, the Bollinger Bands, MACD, and the RSI. So first, let's look at the daily chart, and you can see here that we're in January 2018, and we can see that the previous year it has been rising at an upwards direction. So the market's pretty bullish. And switching back to the 15-minute, we can see that the trend is definitely going upwards. Starts off here, and it has this 61.8 Fibonacci line as the support, and this 100 Fibonacci line as the resistance. You can see that it's definitely between those lines, and it's slowly approaching upwards towards the 100 Fibonacci line. And so I just want to show really quick that we can see here that the trend, we can see a squeeze right before, so we can see that there's a squeeze here, nothing happening in the market, and then slowly as the trend starts gaining a strong upwards momentum, breaking through the 100 Fibonacci line, we can see this candlestick breaking through, and then the Bollinger Bands beginning to expand, breaking apart. We can see that the MACD is definitely rising. It's greater than the zero baseline and greater than the signal line. We can see the RSI definitely approaching the 70. And so finally here we can see that this crossed this Bollinger Band, and we should very soon be seeing a trade being opened based on all these very strong signals, especially RSI giving us a strength almost approaching the 70 line. So I'm going to hit play to see, and there we go. We see it as soon as possible. The Bollinger Band's breaking apart. The Bollinger Band has the candlestick broke through the upper band. The MACD, the RSI giving very strong signals here. So you can see here that it broke the 70 line. Alright, so quickly moving on to our next examples. I'm going to quickly show. So as you can see here, for example, we're in March 4th, and you can see that the market has been between these two Fibonacci lines. And you can see it almost crossed the line here. It crossed it a bit, then retraced back, crossed this line, but then retraced back downwards, and then it crossed the 50 line again, but it retraced upwards, then crossing the 61.8 Fibonacci line again. And we can see that there's a tight contraction here, a squeeze of the Bollinger Bands, and then we can start seeing them breaking apart, expanding. We notice here that this candlestick breaks through the upper band, a good signal for the Bollinger Band to enter a trade. The Fibonacci lines, we can see that these two lines have been acting as support and resistance lines, retracing and then breaking through, and then we here notice that it broke through nicely, indicating a good signal to trade. We can see that the MACD is above the zero baseline and is